Athens, Heritage and Modernity is a 13-day visit scheduled twice a year in the city considered the cradle of Western thought and civilization. Sponsored by the International Institute for Restoration and Preservation Studies. Fani Mallouchou-Tufano is an architect specializing in the restoration of monuments who has worked for 33 years on the restoration project of the Acropolis. After the lecture follows a visit to the Holy Rock of Acropolis, where students have the opportunity to learn more in depth about the architecture of the monuments and visit the beating heart of the Parthenon, the restoration worksite. Here, the various preservation issues are discussed with the architects, the engineers, and the marble technicians in charge. The lecture is accompanied by a visit to the Acropolis Museum, where students have an opportunity to admire and learn more about the masterpieces of the archaic and classical art and the unique plastic decoration of the Acropolis temples. Dr. Korres guides participants through the archaeological itinerary that reveals the topography of ancient Athens and the evolution of the city from prehistory to the Middle Ages. This walk throughout the centuries includes the monuments of the Olympieion, the Arch of Hadrian, and approaching to the Acropolis. It also includes the Odeon of Pericles, the Theatre of Dionysus, the Stoa of Eumenes, and the Odeon of Herodes Atticus. Manolis Korres is the foremost scholar on the archaeology of the Athenian Acropolis. He was chief architect of the Acropolis Restoration Project for more than 20 years. Another itinerary includes the areas of the Classical and Roman Agora up to the area of Keramikos, where the Panathenaic Way through the Dipylon Gate led to Elefsis. In that position, he directed the study of the construction techniques and materials used on its historic buildings. The National Archaeological Museum of Athens is the largest archaeological museum in Greece and one of the most important museums in the world devoted to ancient Greek art. It was founded at the end of the 19th century to house and protect antiquities from all over Greece, thus displaying their historical, cultural, and artistic value. This visit, led by internationally renowned experts, allows participants to retrace the history of ancient Greece through the astonishing artifacts displayed in the museum. The Byzantine period in Athens is addressed by Klimis Aslanidis. He has studied architecture and conservation of historic buildings and is specialized in Byzantine and post-Byzantine architecture. He guides the students in a visit of the Byzantine churches in the city, the presence of which testifies to the prosperity of the Byzantine Athens, mainly between the 10th and the 12th centuries. The highlights of this visit include the monastery of Kesariani, built on the north side of Mount Hymettus. And a very rare testimony of civil housing during the Ottoman period in Athens, the Venizelos mansion. Klimas Aslanidis was a member of the conservation project of this building, which has only recently been restored. Even though it remains closed to the public, participants of our program have the exceptional opportunity to visit the Venizelos mansion. Yanis Theokaris is the curator of the Byzantine and Christian Museum. Participants have the opportunity to visit the museum's conservation department, which includes laboratories for the restoration of sculptures, icons and wood carvings, ceramics, canvas paintings, wall paintings, textiles, paper objects, and mosaics. Andreas Iakomakatos teaches history and theory of architecture. He gives an overview of the evolution and design of the city of Athens over the last 2 centuries, from 1833, when Athens, a town of merely 4,000 inhabitants, is chosen to be the capital of the new independent Greece, to the fast-growing city it is today. The aim of this program is to discover both old and new Athens through a series of lectures and visits to monuments, museums, and significant city neighborhoods, led by some of the chief archaeologists, conservators, architects, and city planners who are and have been involved in the process of creating, studying, and preserving the city. Accompanied by some of the foremost experts, participants investigate how Athenians deal with the challenges of preserving their extensive cultural heritage, both ancient and new, in an exploration of the city of Athens and the layers of history left by the passage of time, from a prehistoric settlement to a modern city. Eleni Kenetaki is an architect specializing in the restoration of monuments. She took part in the ambitious project, the unification of archaeological sites of Athens. She guides the participants through the so-called Archaeological Walk of Athens, which is the Areopagito and the Apostolopavlo pedestrian ways under the Acropolis rock. Elena Korka is presently Director of the Office of Supervision of Antiquities and Private Archaeological Collections of the Greek Ministry of Culture. The architect and urban planner, Yorgos Antonio, specializes in conservation studies and addresses the issues involved when reforming archaeological sites for general access by tourists and other visitors. The program is intended for people studying or for those professionally involved in the fields of history, art history, architecture, archaeology, urban planning, anthropology, conservation and historic preservation, but it is also open for people with a general interest in these fields.